Hello, YouTube family. We meet again. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for stepping by. Thank you if you're a returning subscriber, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. Feel right at home. I aim to make this your virtual home away from home, make you feel right at home. So do consider subscribing to continue evolving with us on the cusp. Welcome to On the Cusp with Daphne, a place where inspiration meets evolution. Today, I talk about the benefits of this health and care worker visa. When you're not in a situation, when you're not in the country, it might be not so obvious to appreciate some of the values it can bring to your life, what value it can add, and how it can change your life in the long term. So I feel it's important for you to be aware of those as you embark on this journey, and hoping that you are one of those people who are going to get your visa, really, and just watch your life transform. As we all know, we are not completely out of the woods with the pandemic with COVID-19. It's a period within which we've seen people lose their jobs because their companies have had to close down out of necessity, not because they wanted to, but because the pandemic has brought such challenges upon them as a business, as businesses, that they've had to consider closing down and laying off their staff. So this visa somewhat offers a job stability of some sort. Initially, you may be issued with a 3-year permit that allows you to stay in the country for 3 years if you don't get one that allows you to stay in the country for 5 years outright. Mostly they're doing 3 years, then you renew or extend after 3 years. But that job stability for those 3 years, that peace of mind of knowing that you are wanted, you are needed, so much so that there is that assurance that, look, for the next 3 years, we are in this partnership. We need you. You need us for our own reasons. So let's stay together. I think that is a number one benefit. So yes, you would understand that what I meant there was the employers are thinking, we need you. You need us for your own different reasons. So why not stick together then for the long haul? As you extrapolate value out of the employment, and they also get to meet their requirements as a company. So it's a mutually beneficial union or business deal, if you want to call it that, one which I think is a win-win and can be used very wisely. Another thing you may not be aware of that changes drastically when you come over here is your affordability score. I'm not talking about credit score, but affordability. For example, just before I came here for the first time in 2004, I was shopping around for a mortgage, a bond in South Africa for buying a home. And I was in a very good job, actually, being paid very well for the local standards. For some reason, I did not follow through, but instead I came over here and I did not complete the process. And within 6 months or so of coming over here, I started the process again of applying for a mortgage. It just shocked me by just how much suddenly the banks thought I was worth or I could afford. And I was given such a huge amount to buy a house with, which I did not use all of it, but at least it afforded me the luxury of buying a house in a place where I felt comfortable, which I probably would not have been able to buy with my South African salary back then. Though I felt it was good, I was in a reasonably competitive job with a good package, but still it did not get me to where coming over here was such a game changer in that sense. So these are just some of the hidden benefits that are not always obvious to us until you have undertaken your own homework and have gone through these things. So just be aware of such hidden benefits. I mentioned the affordability score and the bond and the mortgage. I need to also state in the same breath that I am not a fan of debt altogether. I am not a fan of credit in any shape or form. However, I feel a mortgage is a necessary one, especially if you have a plan to try and push it faster than the allocated term period. Another benefit which is out there really, which is like for free, is that you could bring your partner, as in your wife, your husband, or your children that are under the age of 18 do qualify to have the benefits of being with you on this visa. So it's quite a beautiful thing to know. Sometimes people are not exactly aware of these things. But yes, if you do have a husband, a wife, children under the age of 18, whom you'd like to travel with, whom you'd like to bring over to the UK, this is your opportunity. This one time is when you can do it. I must say, though, in the same breath, that it's something that one should be very cautious of doing, just because it can be quite a challenge to adapt in the country alone, let alone with a crew of other people at the same time. So think about it wisely. It may just be beneficial for the main applicant to come on their own first, and then settle, learn, maybe after 6 months to a year, when they feel they've adapted, they've looked around for a suitable home for a family and so forth, consider coming to bringing the rest of the family over. Another great benefit is that this visa allows you to study. It does not confine you to remain as a healthcare assistant for the rest of your life. You may have other aspirations to say you've not always wanted to be a care worker. You'd like to do other things outside of that. So you can legally study whilst you are working on this visa, which is a great benefit, I think. Doing voluntary work is also allowed on this visa. You can also take up additional work, as in overtime, outside of your contracted hours. You are allowed to work. Usually you'd be told 20 hours per week, or no more than 20 hours per week. So over and above what your employer contracts you, it could be 37 hours or 48 hours. It depends on your contract. You could do an additional 20 hours of overtime. However, this has been waived because of COVID-19. On the government website, it does say that due to COVID-19 and the demand it's placed on all the services, you can work as many hours as you want. So until further notice, the 20 hours is not really applicable. The government will update accordingly. So keep checking and familiarizing yourself with that information so you do not violate the conditions of your visa. Are you getting any value out of this video? Please consider subscribing, sharing, liking, and comment below. Ask any question. I'll be happy to be of assistance to any of your queries. In the meantime, subscribe, please. It will help the channel, show your support for the channel. It will help with the algorithms and so much more. On the subject of overtime, I need to emphasize this. It's important that you do all these extra hours outside of your contracted hours. Remaining with your employer, you need to remain with the person that brought you into the country. Do not leave that employment and start doing other things like I did many years ago when I didn't know the conditions of the visa. So it's important I say this because I have made that mistake. So watch out for this. You stay with your employer and you do this overtime on the side. Although it was for a different reason that I did it, I can make a separate video on it and explain what happened and how it ended. But long story short, I'm just saying stay with your main sponsor as you do these extra hours of overtime within the skills shortage job. And of course, last but not least, is the ability to be able to have permanent residency in the UK after 5 years of you remaining on your visa and respecting the conditions attached to it. Within that time, once you receive your permanent residency, a year later, you are eligible to apply for citizenship if this is something you wish to do. This way, you probably will have dual citizenship, or some people even go as far as surrendering their native citizenship. So it's entirely up to you what you wish to do. But all these options are available to you. So yes, think about it. It's a whole lot of benefits that have nothing really to do with money, but are just so valuable in the long run. Lastly, if I might just remind you again to please like, share the content, and subscribe to the channel. Show your support for the channel. And I'd also like to add, like we talk about these things and all the benefits and the pluses. At the same time, these things are not meant to make anyone to feel desperate. We talk about the window of opportunity. This is short-lived. You'll hear this on all the channels because it is true. It is not always been the case. It's unprecedented to have healthcare assistance on this kind of visa. So I'm not sure it will last for a very long time. So the idea is not to put you under pressure or to get you to make wrong mistakes. And I keep saying, be vigilant. Do not allow this, it's not meant to be pressure. Don't allow this information to push you into making wrong decisions or to be taken advantage of, ending up being scammed or having to pay somebody. Take time to verify sources. If you're not sure, come back on the channel. If there's somebody, perhaps I'm not claiming to be the verifier of anything, but I can do what I can do within my means to double check some of the information if you're not sure. But watch out for those scammers, for those vultures that are coming for your hard-earned cash, posing as recruiters, posing as someone who can find you a job, but you need to pay them some money up front. So watch out for that. But in the same breath, I have heard that agencies are now placing people and they are taking some placement fees. So it's not to say it's in cut in black and white. So do your due diligence. That's all I'm asking you to do. But beware that it is currently, as we know, things to be a short-term measure. So act swiftly if this is something that is for you. Thank you so much for staying till the end. Light and love as we evolve on the cusp. Stay tuned. See you on the next one. Thank you for your support. Let's share, subscribe, comment, and like. Thank you very much.